it would be a good idea just to do a check-in, which I haven't done in a while. August has been very busy, just trying to keep up with everything in the garden. August is a very difficult time to keep up with the gardening. I can't keep up with all the weeds. Watering is more important than weeding at this point, but it's been so good. I love how our little backyard flower garden came out with the raised beds. If you follow me, I showed earlier this year how I was converting the flower patch that I had before into a little raised bed. It's kind of like a horseshoe design for the back gardening area. And I love looking out this back window or my back door and seeing all the pretty flowers just peeking up over the railing here. I was also able to harvest a bunch of my garlic. They came out so good. I think this is the best year I've ever had for garlic. They look really good. I think I'm kind of addicted because I really want to grow more next year. I have had some issues with my tomatoes. This is my first year really growing tomatoes. The issue I'm having is I think that I planted out some of my tomato plants too late. Also, I think in 2 of my raised beds, the soil wasn't as good as my other soil where my tomatoes are performing really well. I still tried to mix in a little bit of compost and cow manure in each of my beds, but you can really tell the difference with the bed that's doing really well with my tomatoes, my Roma tomatoes, and it just goes to show how important the soil is and the nutrients are for the vigor and health of your vegetables. I'm noticing that on the bottom of the tomatoes, they're developing kind of like a black spot on the bottom. I was reading that I believe this is due to a calcium deficiency. So next year when I grow tomatoes, I'm not just gonna fertilize with fish emulsion, which is what I had been doing, although not as frequently. I will be transparent, as I probably should have, but I heard that I should use maybe tomato tone from Espoma. So that I will try next year and see if I will have more tomatoes to be able to harvest. I still have quite a few, which I will show you in a future video, that I'm very excited. I have some off to the side of me here that are ripening little by little in one little lonely jalapeno. So I'm harvesting the tomatoes as they're starting to blush on the vine or on the plant, and then letting them just ripen indoors. And as soon as they're ripening, I'm freezing them so that way I can do a batch. Here, hold on, let me get the book. Freezing them so I can do a full batch day when they're ready to make homemade pasta sauce or marinara. And this is the book that I'm going to be using. This is the all-new Ball Book of Canning and Preserving. So excited. I've gotten into pressure canning this year and I hope to do more this fall. I just haven't really had a need to right now because I really wanted to wait to see or wait for my garlic and my onions and my tomatoes so I can make some pasta sauce. But I'm going to be making, my mouth is watering, the oven roasted marinara, and you need about 20 pounds of Roma tomatoes. I think I'll have just that. I was really hoping that I would have yielded quite a bit more from, I think I had 10 Roma plants, but again, I really only had one bed that performed well, and I'm thankful for what I do have, but I'm gonna go even crazier next year with the fertilizing and soil, focusing on the soil health too for next year when growing Roma tomatoes. So this should yield about four quarts if I can get 20 pounds of my Roma tomatoes, which I think will have just that. Right now I have about 3, 6, 9. Right now I have about 13 pounds, and actually no, I should have more than that. Right now, I think I should have about 15 pounds of Roma tomatoes already frozen, not counting the ones that are ripening here on my kitchen table. And then hopefully we'll get 5 more pounds. I just need 5 more pounds of my Roma tomatoes, and then I will show you how I will be processing. This is gonna be my first time doing this, processing my Roma tomatoes using, hold on. Okay, using a food processor, or food strainer rather. So I got this Johnny applesauce maker, and it's a food strainer. It says great for purees, pie fillings, juices, jams, cream soups, baby food, sauces, and more. So it's basically an extruder, and it takes out all the seeds and the flesh and leaves only the good yummy stuff. So I read a lot of good reviews about this. I haven't used it yet, so the verdict will be out, but I am very hopeful. There was one hand crank too that I saw that I was thinking about, but I was thinking it could be a very lengthy process, so I might try to go electric. But I will have both this and the book linked below in my description if you yourself are also in the shopping for a food strainer and want to learn more about canning as well. So that will be coming very soon, as soon as the other ones ripen, or by the time we have about 20 pounds of Roma tomatoes. And in terms of my flower stand, I have put it out a couple of times. Not as frequently as I did last year, but that's because I felt called to donate quite a few flower bouquets this year. I just felt like I really wanted to donate a bunch of my bouquets, and I think that's something that I'm going to keep up every year. It makes me so happy being able to donate these flower bouquets, and yeah, I don't know. Flowers make me so happy, and I love to make other people happy, and I think that flowers are magical, not to get all corny, but they are really magical, and I think it's just so special to be able to hopefully brighten somebody's day with something that I have right here that I'm growing. So it means a lot to me, and hopefully if I can keep this going every year and keep gardening, I would love to continue on that habit. Let's go harvest some garlic and process it, and then let's harvest some flowers to make a lovely couple of bouquets for my fellow neighbors at the flower stand. I let my flowers condition overnight in my basement where it's a little bit on the cooler side and gives my flowers a chance to fully hydrate before I begin the process of making my bouquets. Now, I'm sure there is a way I could speed up this process by, I think, making a little assembly line of all my flowers, but I try to make each bouquet a little unique, as I often will not have enough of one flower to go into all of my bouquets, but instead I can make a few different looking bouquets based on what I have available. And this week, the celosia was finally ready.